anyway, Rick and I decided we were going to develop this, and so I grew enough garlic that I could give him 100 pounds of seed, and then he let me use that seed on his land, and I took that 100 pounds or 200, whatever it was, and we parlayed it to well, 200 to 2,000 pounds, and then we went and planted up a 5-acre field across from the dairy. That field across from the dairy, it's actually 6 acres, and we planted that whole field up with the Lahontan white, and we were getting ready to go into, I mean, big time garlic business, tons of it out of the field, and it was a beautiful field. You have pictures of it, but his foreman thought he knew about garlic, and when it came time to harvest, he went out on a Friday just before a heat wave weekend, and he turned the garlic out into the sun, and then went away. He says it's got to dry on the surface. Well, it cooked, and so we lost the whole field. 6 acres of garlic, and all that time and energy we put into it, we lost just about the whole thing because of that decision. And I'm just screaming, pulling my hair out, no, and Rick was gone for the weekend or something, and so I couldn't do anything about it. I went out and saved some, but that's all I could do, is save some, and the rest of the field just cooked. And his workers went out there and they picked it all up and they took it into the shed, and it smelled like cooked garlic. And then he had already made a contract with Peaceful Valley to sell them garlic, and so it took him a long time to pick through that to get enough garlic that had been under, in the shade and so on. And so he actually came up with about a ton of it to sell them, and it was very popular. It was a good seed garlic. Oh, people loved it. And then he went ahead and tried to do it again the next year. Well, the next year, put the stuff on T-tape, and the workers hoeing managed to cut up the T-tape enough that the whole crop failed because it didn't get water anymore. So we had 2 failures in a row, and that ended our garlic business. Now Rick grows garlic, and he grows enough for himself and his stand and so on, and he's figured out a way to do it with his tractors, and he's able to do it cultivation and so on. Instead of workers hacking, he's got figured out to do it, the weeding, with a tractor, and so he can do that, and he grows good garlic. I mean, it's really good garlic. And I still use my same old method because I only plant 100 pounds a year, and that's enough for me to do all by myself. And then we usually get about 700 pounds from that.
Can you describe how it is that on a big scale like that, how is it still by hand, each individual clove? Like, how do people plant?
Yeah, that's what we do. And his workers will get out there as a team, and some people will be walking along dropping the cloves in the spots they're going to go in. Somebody else just pushes them in, somebody else rakes it up. And so that's the way we do it. We don't use an actual planting machine. But it doesn't take them very long with a field. He had a crew of about 10 guys and girls just out there working. And I'll show you basically the way I do it. You'll see how I plant garlic in general, because I plant garlic for regular garlic and spring garlic the same way. So you'll see exactly how I set that up. But yeah, mine I just use a small rototiller, and it gives me a bed that's perfect for planting. So it works real well. Several of the years I did use my rototiller at Latins, and we actually set up the rows that way as we were building up enough stock to plant 6 acres. Luckily, we did that ourselves. We didn't have to come up with $20,000–$30,000 worth of seed stock and take out a loan and all that. We did this ourselves, so it was only our time that we lost.
Yeah. Adventures in